the is deeply test here is a very simple way to test that two data structures has the same content. For more complicated tests, you can use a module called testd. But this is that's outside the scope. So now we very roughly tested that I can enqueue and I can dequeue stuff from my queue. What about the wait time function? Well, the naive way is to do something like this. I'm going to set up my queue. I'm enqueuing value, and I'm going to sleep 5 seconds. And then I test that the wait time for the front object is now 5 seconds. Then I'm going to sleep some more and test again. Then I'm going to sleep some more and test again. The problem with this is that it's going to take some time. And time isn't what I got a lot of. So in this case, well, you can wait 15 seconds, but if you've got thousands lines of code, tens of thousands lines of code, and you've got a couple of places where you're going to wait for timeout values, this isn't an option just to say, oh, I'm going to see if I get a timeout in like 1 minute. Then your test script will block for a minute and see if you get the timeout. So a way to solve this is to say, oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to override the time function, assuming that my module is implemented using the call time function. And this is simply done just by taking the simple call global time and stash another subroutine into it. In this case, I stash a very simple subroutine, just returning now, a random variable. And then my test is almost the same, but instead of sleeping 5 seconds, I can just set the clock 5 seconds ahead. So now you might say you're not really testing that time goes correctly. No, but doing this, I'm saying, assuming that I got a time function that works, then my wait time will also work.
Assuming that your wait time uses the time.
Assuming.
And not time hierarchy.
Yes.
And not, and not.
And not, and not. This isn't black box testing. You've got to know, when you're doing tricks like this, you've got to know something about your code. And now my test runs a bit faster. Even with Rakudo Star, this would be doable. So we got a nice comment there, assuming my code used not used the call time function and not time high-res.
But aren't you running into a design issue? wouldn't it be better to encapsulate whatever time method you're using and then mark it in your test? Because then you might change behavior for more than once.
You might say that, yes. In some situation, that would be nicer to have some encapsulated object, but when to stop?
Well, I think you do it relative. I mean, what I do is I take the start time or something,
Yeah.
and I use a compare that is greater than, start time plus 10 seconds, instead of screwing around with the real value.
So this demonstration is actually fair enough, because what you can say, it depends on what it is that your module does. The problem is that you don't know how, if you're going to measure time, you are all of a sudden you are a bit out of sync when testing code. I have a time on the CPAN, and I get all sorts of weird smoke results from the smokers, which are doing a great job, but sometimes the environments are slower than when I'm running my stuff at home. So time is
Yes?
When I write unit tests, I try to test as little as possible. So I think your test is perfectly valid because you're just testing a tiny bit of your code, and you're proving that this method does exactly what you have designed it to do.
Yeah.
So I don't see any problem with the way you've done.
Well, of course, there are some problems that changing the implementation will change some of my tests and will make the tests hardly. Some minor changes of my code would need to change the test somehow, and of course that's a valid situation, but sometimes it's not clear how to change it.
Okay.
But
it would still be a wake-up call, because you would if some of the tests fail, then you would have to rethink and really doing the right change.
I will have to rethink the way to test it, and when my test fails, I'm going to decide if this is a failure in the code or in the test cases. And in some situations, the failure is in the test cases. Like now, instead of using the call time function, I import the time high-res. And then the sleep way of doing testing still takes a lot of time, but each method fails because my sleep isn't exactly 5 seconds, but 5.001 seconds, including sometimes running Perl code. Overriding the call time, of course, doesn't work because we don't use the call time anymore, but we have to override the actual method we're using. Which is almost the same. So, this way of overriding individual methods in some packages works. But sometimes it's sometimes it's hard to do right. And in that case, the right solution is to mocking an object. Considering the reverse situation that I have to test some code using my queuing code, and I don't want to include the queuing code in my tests. What would I do then? Well, instead of including queue time, I now include a test mock object. I generate an object and I tell my object, oh, you're going to make a mock-up of a method called enqueue and dequeue. And then I can use this mock object instead of my ordinary queue object for some very complex code. And after having used my my almost queue object, I can introspect I can look at my mock object and say, give me a list of method calls and just add a count of each call. And then I will be able to test that the enqueue and the dequeue operation was done the same amount of time. This way, without calling the code included in queue time, I will be able to test another piece of code and test that each time it enqueues an object, it will also dequeue it. Assuming error handling is done somewhere else.
Isn't this dangerous? Because you imagine you queue for methods in your queue class. If you're mocking your core behavior, if you're modeling the testing, your test is
in this situation, I'm not testing queue time. I'm testing some very complex code designed for using queue time. So I'm doing just the same as before. Instead of overriding the time function, I make a very simple implementation of something not quite unlike my queue implementation, and use this instead. So this technology, this is not to test queue time, but to test code using queue time. And I see that Jonas is reaching for the stuff. What? Well, stupid question. Well, 20 minutes is nearly enough. What I'm going to mention while everyone from the next talk is entering and everyone not seeing the next talk is exiting is that having a good test week, you can do coverage testing using the DEVIL cover module, which will tell you which line of your code is touched by your tests. This is a useful heuristic for seeing if your test is somewhat complete. If you're